Hi everyone. Spring is only a couple of weeks away and I'm really excited to announce that I started an edible garden. I find I'm more motivated to keep up a garden that is edible than I am to keep up one that's more aesthetically beautiful and appealing rather than one that I could actually eat. So I decided this year, aside from the perennials that already exist on my property, I am going to try and grow everything that is edible as much as possible. So even the flowers are going to be edible, the flowers I'm going to plant this year. So I'm really, really excited. I was really pleasantly surprised at the variety of organic seeds you can get in the store nowadays. I remember when we first moved into this house, I think that was 6 years ago, and I would try and find organic seeds, and it was very, very difficult. Organic herbs were always easy to get, and organic seeds that were for herbs were always easy to get, but vegetables not so much. Now I went to the garden center, and they had two or three shelves of organic seeds, so I was really, really, really excited to see that. Now, if you do some research online, you're going to find that a lot of the differences between organic seeds and conventional seeds are actually more hypothetical or philosophical, as people like to say. And what that simply means is, in order for you to grow genetically modified seeds, usually you have to sign a contract with a company that created or has copyright claims to those seeds, that you're not going to keep the seeds from the plants and grow them again next year. Because technically you need a license or permission from the content creators to keep growing that plant on an annual basis. So because of that reason, I do not believe that most of the seeds that you get, if not all the seeds that you get from places like Lowe's, Home Depot, and Walmart, I do not believe they're genetically modified. So why buy organic seeds if that is the case? Some people will say, well, the seeds came from plants that were heavily sprayed. Even if that were the case, if you're growing from seeds and you yourself are taking care not to use harmful chemicals, I think you'd be okay. So again, why purchase organic seeds? The beautiful thing about organic seeds is most of them are heirloom seeds, which means they are seeds that have been passed down from generations to generations. On top of that, a lot of these companies, at least locally here in Toronto, they are native seeds, which means these are seeds that were grown by the natives centuries ago that have been passed down through family and are now being given to the public to grow. So it's sort of like a nice community to join, like you're becoming a part of history by growing organic seeds. A lot of companies that sell organic seeds are very against hybrid seeds. I don't necessarily find anything wrong with hybrid seeds. Not all organic seeds are hybrid free. There are organic hybrid tomatoes, for example, and hybrid kale and things like that. And the reason why I'm not against it completely is it's not the kind of genetic splicing that occurs in a lab. I think it's very, very easy to cross-pollinate certain plants together. Just like if you grow dill and fennel beside each other, what you end up actually growing, rather than growing dill and fennel, is you create sort of a hybrid plant, which is why they say you should keep fennel and dill away from each other in the garden. These are farming methods that have been used for centuries and centuries and centuries, if not, for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years, by people who want to create hardier plants. Plants that are more resistant to bugs and things like that. And this wasn't created in a lab. These are just skills that farmers have used to grow plants together in a certain way that allows those plants to become hardier. And so if we're talking about traditional hybrid plants, I don't see any problem with it. A lot of the problems people have with genetic modification is you're actually taking genes from completely unrelated species and putting it into a plant. And nobody knows the effects of that. But the effects of taking two similar plants, for example, seedless grapes. I know a lot of people who are in the organic movement are afraid of seedless grapes because they feel like they've probably been genetically modified or something like that. That's not necessarily the case. It's just a form of breeding that has allowed over the years for the seeds to shrink, and is a very popular breed of grapes. So I eat seedless grapes. I eat seedless watermelons. I don't really necessarily think there's anything wrong with it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there's something about hybrid seeds I don't know about. But I do have a couple of hybrid seeds. I have hybrid kale, because I wanted a kale that was going to be a little cold hardy. So we will have some kale early in the spring, or mid-spring probably. As soon as I can work the ground, I'm going to plant it in the ground. And hopefully it'll last until, past the first snowfall. And that is a hybrid seed. And there's hybrid tomatoes as well that are more pest resistant, but we're not genetically modified in a lab. And that's why I'm not against hybrid seeds. Anyway, I don't want to keep you guys too long. I'm just really, really excited because I have grown an organic edible garden in the past. I haven't done it with this many plants. I've stuck to tomatoes, peppers, and herbs. This year I'm doing onions, garlic, kale, broccoli, lettuce, spinach, French beans, soybeans, and like a dozen herbs. And edible flowers, like I don't want to leave that out, because I really want to have a full edible garden. I'm actually going to have an edible front yard garden as well as a backyard garden because I live in the city. We have a swimming pool, so we don't have too many flower beds or too many plant beds. So I'm going to try and use all the space that I have, including my front yard. Kale is a very ornamental plant in my opinion. Coupled with some edible flowers, I think it could really make it look beautiful. I'm not planning on digging up my front yard and putting, rows of vegetables. I actually want it to look ornamental, and I'll let you know how it goes. I will show you guys this before I go. I planted these on Sunday, and it's only Wednesday, and they're already sprouting, so I'm really, really excited. These are actually the greens that are sprouting. I believe this is the mustard, and the kale, and the broccoli, and some of the onion sprouts are also sprouting. So I'm really excited at how quickly they grew. The broccoli, for example, it hadn't sprouted when I checked it this morning, and then I went out for a few hours, and I came back, and it's already half an inch tall. It's crazy how quickly they grow. So I'm really, really excited about this, and I'll keep you guys updated, and let me know if you guys have any suggestions, because like I said, I'm not a professional gardener. I do this for a hobby, but also because I love eating healthy, wholesome, organic, pesticide-free, GMO-free food. And there's just something special about being able to grow that on your own. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!